Dear students, today we discuss about the differential protection in the subject of switchgear and protection. So today's outline is introduction about differential protection, principle of differential protection, difficulty arises in differential protection, bias differential protection, and last one is the summary. Okay, so first of all, what is differential protection? One of the most important protection in power system is differential protection. It is the most important protection used in the power system. It is used to protect the electrical equipment against internal fault such as internal winding short circuit or bus bar face to face short circuit, interdent short and winding puncture, etc. So this differential protection is applicable to various protection like interdent short circuit protection, winding puncture protection, bus bar face to face protection and internal winding or short circuit protection. It works under the Kirchhoff's current law. It states that the algebraic sum of currents at a node in a circuit is equal to 0. The basic principle, that is the algebraic sum of current at a node is 0, that is incoming current is equal to outgoing current. The differential relay can be defined as the relay. Here is in differential protection we are using the differential relay. Okay, so differential relay is defined as the relay operates when the phasor difference between the two or more electrical quantities exceed the preset value. We have to set one value that is known as the preset value, and when it exceeded the preset value, at that time the differential relay will operate. Okay, so the basic principle of differential protection, this circuit shows the basic principle in which this circuit shows the external fault and this circuit shows the internal fault. Okay, here it is a single line diagram. So in this is the generator winding. Okay, this coil or winding is the generator winding. So we are protecting this generator winding using the differential protection. Here is the CT1 and CT2. So two CTs are placed on both sides of the generator winding. Now this is the wire. So CT1 is connected to CT2. So the wire which is used to connect these two CTs is known as the pilot wire. So this wire is known as the pilot wire. So one CT is connected to the second CT. Okay, and in between this pilot wire, one operating coil of the relay is connected. Okay, this relay must have to connect in the center of this pilot wire. So this relay coil is connected at the midpoint of the pilot wire. So this is the basic about the circuit of differential protection. Now when external fault occurs, okay, so the basic principle is there. This is the primary and this one is the secondary. This one is the primary and this one is the secondary. Okay, so when primary current changes, the secondary current of current transformer also changes. So the function of the current transformer is to sense or to measure the current. So it senses the primary current, so secondary current flows according to it. Okay, so if we change the primary current of current transformer, secondary current will also change. Okay, so when external fault occurs, okay, at that time what happens? When external fault occurs, at that time the current flowing through the primary of the CT1 as well as CT2 both are same. Okay, so what happens? This relay is connected at the midpoint of the pilot wire. So in this circuit, current I1 is flowing in this direction, and in this circuit current I2 is flowing in this direction. So the resultant current flowing through this relay, operating coil of the relay, is the I1 minus I2. Okay, so I1 is the secondary current of CT1 and I2 is the secondary current of CT2. So when external fault occurred, at that time the primary current of CT1 and primary current of CT2 both are same. So according to that, the secondary current of CT1 and secondary current of CT2 are also same. So what happens? The I1 minus I2, that is the resultant current. Okay, so I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. So no current will flow through the operating coil of the relay. So as the current is not flowing through this relay, what happens? This relay coil is not energized and it will not give signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, so this is an external fault, okay, or we can say that a normal condition. Okay, now when internal fault occurs, so when internal fault occurs at that time, what happens? The fault occurs in this protected zone. So this is the protected zone. Okay, so fault occurs in this protected zone. So what happens? As soon as the fault occurs in this protected zone, what happens? The current flowing through the CT1 and CT2 is changed. Okay, so what happens? As the primary current of CT1 is changed, the secondary current of CT1 is also changed. Here the primary current is not equal to the primary of the CT1. So what happens? The I1 and I2 both current are different. So as the both current are different, that means what happens? The I1 minus I2 current is flowing through this relay, operating coil of the relay. So as the current is flowing through the operating coil of the relay, what happens? This relay is energized and it gives signal to the circuit breaker, and the circuit breaker will become operate. Okay, so this is the basic principle of the differential protection. So it is also known as the current differential protection, or we can say that is the merged price protection system. So differential protection scheme is the one simple conceptual technique. It works on the principle of comparison between the phase angle and the magnitude of the same electrical quantities. So current differential protection is used to response from the electrical quantities. The relay whose operation depends on the phase difference of two or more electrical quantities known as the differential protection relay. So differential protection relay responds on the phase difference of two or more electrical quantities. The relay which senses and operates the phase difference between the current entering into the electrical system and the current leaving the electrical system is called a current differential relay. So if we see this figure, here what happens? Current is entering and here is the current is leaving. Okay, so it responds to the current entering to the circuit and current leaving from the circuit. That is known as the differential relay. So in this differential protection or current differential protection, differential relay is used which responds to the current entering into the electrical system and the current leaving to the electrical system. Okay, now this is the differential protection applied to generator. Okay, so this is the basic circuit of the differential protection of the generator. Okay, so if we see, this is the CT1 and this is the CT2, both are connected in the star. This CT1 is connected in star, this CT2 is connected in star. This is the three-phase generator stator winding. So we are protecting the three-phase stator generator winding. Okay, so here what happens? This CT1 is connected in star, this CT2 is connected in the star. This is the neutral point. Okay, and the relay coil is connected in each phase and the neutral. Okay, each phase and neutral. This is the earthing resistance to which the star point of the generator is earth. Okay, so here what happens? It requires, in differential protection applied to generator, what happens? It requires two identical current transformers. So this CT1 and CT2 are the current transformer which are the identical current transformer. That means the CT ratios are identical, or the characteristics of the CTs are identical, which are mounted on both sides of the protected zone. So these are two CTs mounted on the both sides of the protected zone. The secondary terminal of the current transformers are connected in star. Here what happens? The secondary of the current transformer are connected in stars and their end terminals are connected through the pilot wire. This is the pilot wire through which both CTs are connected. The relay coils are connected in delta. Okay, the relay is connected across the equipotential point. This relay coil is connected at the equipotential point. Okay, and equipotential point is the center of the pilot wire. Okay, so this is the current differential protection. So when fault occurs at that time, the current resultant current is flowing through the relay coil and relay coil will energized and it will give signal to the circuit breaker. Okay. Now fault occurs at that time. What happens? Any two phases Y and B, short circuit current will flow through the phases. The fault unbalances the city's current. So the current flowing through the secondary of this city and current flowing through the secondary of this city, both are different. So the differential current is flowing through this relay coil and relay coil will energize and it will give signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, now when we are using the differential protection, some problems or difficulties are arise. So the various problem arises in differential protection, that is difference in length of pilot wire. Okay, so here we have to connect the relay coil of the relay coil. Here what happens, we have to connect the operating coil of this relay at the midpoint of the pilot wire. Okay, so we have to find the midpoint of the pilot wire. Now the length of these two cities or the length of the pilot wire is very large. Okay, so how can we find the pilot wire? If we connect this operating coil of the relay at one side, or if it is not connected at the center point of the mid of the pilot wire, what happens? So at that time, if we see the basic principle, okay, so if this relay coil is not connected at the midpoint of the pilot wire, so what happens? The length of this side and the length of this side both are different. Okay, so here we assume this is the length L1, here we assume the length L2. Here L1 is not equal to L2 or L1 is less compared to L2. Okay, so what happens? Here length is less, here length is more, so resistance R is equal to rho L by A, in which rho and A are constant. So resistance is directly proportional to length. So as the resistance is directly proportional to length, so here length L1 is less, length L2 is more. So length L1 is less, that means resistance R1 is less, length L2 is more, so resistance R2 is more. So we can say that here R2 is more, that means current flowing through this pilot wire, that is less, and here current flowing through this pilot wire is more. So current here I1 is more, I2 is less, that means in normal condition also the differential current is flowing through the operating coil of the relay, and even there is no fault, in this condition the relay coil will energize and it will give the signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, so in normal condition also the relay will operate. This is the problem arises when we are using the differential protection. So for that what we have to do, we have to find the midpoint of the pilot wire. So for that we have to connect the balancing resistor in the pilot wire, which is a variable resistor. Okay, so by using or by varying the value of resistance, we have to make the value of resistance of this side and value of resistance of this side equal. So we have to vary such type of resistance, or we have to adjust the resistance such that the length of this side and the length of this side becomes equal. So when length becomes equal, the resistance will also becomes equal, and there is no current flowing through the relay coil in normal conditions. So this is the problem arises and this is the solution. Okay, second, that is the difference in CT ratio. So difference at high values of short circuit current. So when high value of short circuit current will flows, at that time due to the saturation of the CTs, the CT ratio error occurs. Okay, and for that we have to use the biased coil or restraining coil to overcome this difficulty. So when high fault current is flowing, at that time what happens? The CT ratio error occurs in this CT, and due to it then it will gives the operation even for the external fault. Okay, so for overcoming this difficulty we have to introduce a bias coil, or we can say that is the restraining coil, that will be discussed later. Next is a tap changing alters. Okay, when we are using tap changing, at that time the ratio of voltage and currents between high voltage and low voltage sides occurs. Okay, and the relay will sense this act. So when it ratio becomes changed, at that time the relay will energized, and for that we have to use the restraining coil also. Okay, next is the magnetizing induced current. So magnetizing induced current appears when a transformer is energized on its primary side. So when we are giving supply to the transformer on primary side, at that time the high magnetizing induced current is flowing through this primary side, which produces the harmonics, and due to it CT is act as there is no load in the circuit. This difference in current will actuate the differential relay. Due to this harmonic, the differential relay will actuate. So for overcoming this difficulty, we have to use the harmonic restraining unit, which will block the harmonics and when the transformer is energized. Okay, so this is the problems arises in the differential protection and the remedies when we are remedies for this differential protection problems. Okay, now the biased or percentage differential relay, it is most used form of differential relay. Their arrangement is same as that of current differential relay. Arrangement is the same. The only difference is that there is one additional coil, that is known as the restraining coil, which is connected in the pilot wire. Restraining coil is connected in the middle of the pilot wire. Restraining coil as well as operating coil, both are connected at the center of the pilot wire. Okay, so this is the basic circuit of the percentage differential relay or biased differential relay. Okay, this is the normal operating coil of the relay. This is the one extra coil that is connected in the biased percentage differential relay protection. This coil is known as the restraining coil or biased coil. So this operating coil is connected at the midpoint of the restraining coil. Here this operating coil is connected at the midpoint of this restraining coil. So what happens? The total MMF of restraining coil is I1 N by 2, because this operating coil is connected at the mid of the restraining coil. So this is the N by 2 turn, this is the N by 2 turn, and whole is the N number of turns. Okay, so the MMF of restraining coil is, this I1 current is flowing through this N by 2 turn, this I2 current is flowing through this N by 2 turn. So total MMF of restraining coil is I1 N by 2 plus I2 N by 2 is equal to N by 2 into I1 plus I2. So average current through the restraining coil is, that is I1 plus I2 by 2. This is the average restraining current flowing through this restraining coil. Okay, now the average current flowing through the operating coil, that is the I1 minus I2, that we already discussed. Okay, so under normal condition what happens? Fr, that is the force produced by the restraining coil, is greater than the FO, that is the force produced by the operating coil. So under normal condition Fr is greater than Fo, so relay does not operate. When Fr is greater than, so this restraining coil restrains to operate the relay, or it opposes the operation of the relay. So this Fr is greater than Fo, that means this restraining coil will not allow the operating coil to operate. Now what happens during faulty condition? What happens? So when fault occurs, at that time the I1 minus I2 current is also flowing through this relay. So at that time what happens? The Fo becomes greater than Fr. The force produced by the operating coil becomes greater than the force produced by the restraining coil. So at that time this restraining force is less, so this relay coil is energized and it will give signal to the circuit breaker. Hence the ratio of differential current to the average restraining current is always fixed percentage. Okay, the ratio of this average restraining current and the differential current. Okay, so the ratio of differential current to the average restraining current is always fixed percentage. Therefore this relay is also called as the percentage differential relay, in which we have operating coil as well as the restraining coil. Okay, this is the characteristics of percentage differential protection. or the bias percentage differential. This characteristic is known as the constant slope relay characteristics, and this is the increased slope characteristics. Okay, so in constant slope characteristics, on x-axis it is the restraining current, and on y-axis it is the differential current. Okay, while in this it is the relay current and it is the short circuit current. So what happens? Here the slope is constant and here the slope is increases. So if these two type of relay is used, at that time what happens? In this constant slope relay, it needs high accuracy CT. So if we are using this constant slope relay, then we have to use the high accuracy CT. Then it is comparatively low cost. The cost when we are using constant slope relay is low, whereas we are using increased slope relay, at that time it does not high accuracy. Okay, in this high accuracy CT is not required and it is the comparatively high cost. So these are the two comparison of percentage differential relay. One is the constant slope relay and second is the increased slope relay. So as we discussed in this, okay, here what happens? One earthing resistance is connected to the star point of the generator winding. Okay, so when earthing resistance is connected to the star point of the generator winding, at that time what happens or what problems is arise? So the neutral resistance wire is used to in the differential protection system for avoiding the adverse effect of earth fault current. So if we want to remove the earth fault current effect, we have to use the neutral resistance wire in differential protection. Okay, so when earth fault occurs near the neutral wire, it will cause a small short circuit current to flow through the neutral point because of the small EMF. Okay, so the when earth fault occurs, at that time the small current is flowing through the neutral point. Okay, because at that point the EMF is also small. Now this current is further reduced by the resistance of neutral grounding. So earthing resistance is connected, so this small current is further reduced by some amount. So this current becomes very less. Okay, so thus small current will flow through the relay now, and this small current will not operate the relay coil and hence the generator gets damaged. Okay, this is the problem arised in the differential protection. So for that, one modification is made in this differential protection, and this is the modified scheme of differential protection. Okay, so in this modified differential protection, what happens? Two coils are used for phase fault and one coil is used as a earth fault relay coil. So these two coils are the phase fault relay coils and this coil is the earth fault relay coils, and this earth fault relay coil is connected with the balancing resistor. Okay, and another balancing resistor are also connected. So two elements are arranged, one for protection of phase fault and another for earth fault protection. Phase elements are connected in stars along with the resistor. These phase elements are connected in star with this resistor. The earth fault relay is kept between the star and the neutral. This is the earth fault relay coil. Two phase elements together with a balancing resistor are connected in star. These two and this one. Okay, it becomes a star connection and the earth fault relay is connected between these two. Okay, the star connected circuit is symmetrical and any balanced overflow current from the current circuiting point will not flow through the earth fault relay due to the star connected circuit. Okay, and it is a symmetrical circuit, so it will not allow the current flowing through the earth fault relay. Okay, so in this system the sensitive earth fault relay will operate at a high degree of stability. So this is the modification made in the differential protection. Okay, so today we discuss about the basic principle of differential protection. What is the differential protection? It responds to the any two electrical quantities. Difficulty arises in differential protection, that is the length of pilot wire. We have to find the midpoint of the pilot wire, then the saturation of the CTs. Okay, and the solution is for finding the midpoint we have to use the balancing resistor. Then For harmonic reduction, we have to use the harmonic eliminator. Also, we are using the biased differential protection. In this, then the differential protection applied to the generator and the modified differential protection applied to the generator. Up to this point, thank you very much.